Hello, fellow Star Wars fans. My name is Star Raptor, and welcome back to the channel. This is the place where I talk a lot about Star Wars, and for Star Wars fans, it's a good day to be excited for Star Wars, especially if you're a comic book fan, because we have gotten something that I think most of you out there, comic fans and Star Wars fans in general, have wanted to know about for years. And that is what happens with Han, Luke, and Leia right after the events of the Battle of Jakku. What happens after Return of the Jedi, right? We've just gotten Battle of Jakku maxi series, and we got to see our first glimpse of Luke, Han, Leia right after destruction of Death Star 2. But it was announced today that Alex Segura and artist Phil Noto are doing an ongoing, yes, an ongoing series starting right from the Battle of Jakku onward. This comes to us from StarWars.com, and here's a little bit of a brief synopsis. It's the dawn of the New Republic, and as the dust settles after the Battle of Jakku, our rebel heroes Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia Organa, and Han Solo find themselves forging a new order as pirates and thieves swarm to fill the power vacuum left by the fallen Empire. And I will talk about the synopsis from the site as well. And it goes, New York Times bestselling author Alex Segura launches the bold next era of Star Wars. Luke Skywalker must defend the New Republic from a bloodthirsty gang of mercenaries. Meanwhile, Han Solo investigates a deadly underworld mystery and saves a surprising ally. Plus, Leia Organa must grapple with a new alliance opposed to the goals of the New Republic. So all that is great. This is the stuff, guys, I've been waiting for since the buyout of Disney, or the buyout of Star Wars by Disney in 2014, right? We knew we were getting The Force Awakens, but then The Force Awakens jumped 30 years, and it's like, what happened with Han, Luke, and Leia in that time since? We've been getting a little bit tidbits in The Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, with Luke Skywalker starting his Jedi Academy then, but there's still about 4 or 5 years before the Mandoverse, in between Return of the Jedi, that we have a pretty much blank slate. Not completely, though. If you're interested in knowing anything else about Han and Lando, there is the Last Shot novel written by Daniel Jose Older, which came out around the time of Solo, A Star Wars Story, which I think dates back to 2018 or so that book might have come out. But this is fantastic. This is great news. This comes to us basically a decade after Marvel got Star Wars back for canon. With Star Wars issue number 1 came out in January of 2015 to kick off like the whole big Force Awakens jump into the programming and all that good stuff, promotion. But this is huge. This is huge. We get to see, hopefully, a lot of things that most of us have wanted to see. Something I would like to see is maybe Luke training Leia. We know that has to happen at some point close to the birth of Ben Solo. We get to see a little bit of that in Rise of Skywalker, so there's stuff going on there. What happens to the power vacuum of the underworld, right? We have seen so far in the Battle of Jakku, they have Zeva Bless and the different Spice Runners like Kijimi. Plus with Book of Boba Fett, you have Bib Fortuna sitting on the throne of Jabba. Then you have the Black Sun running around, I'm guessing by, Prince Zizor. Maybe he'll show up in here. There's a lot of different ways they can go about it. As Alex Segura has written the Poe Dameron Freefall novel, he has made references in that novel to how in that period, right after Return of the Jedi, there's a lot more with pirates, a lot more of the scum and villainy. Not a lot to do with the Remnant Empire, but now since Mandalorian's been out, we do know that Moff Gideon exists. We know that there is a Remnant Empire around, so I would not be surprised if we still dabble with that, but I think the idea is they don't want to just step on the toes of Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau's Mandalorian verse. But maybe at this point they have plotted things around so well into the future with the Mandalorian Grogu movie, with Ahsoka Season 2, with whatever Dave Filoni's Heir to the Empire sort of movie is going to be. Maybe they already have the sketchbook of what happens. They can now start to retroactively fill in the void of what comes next. I mean, we're looking at these covers here, and there is a great cover of Luke, right, with a green lightsaber in that Rebel pilot garb. It's awesome. Getting to see Han with a different kind of outfit. Getting to see Leia with a different hairstyle. Very cool stuff there. But we're also seeing a Star Destroyer with X-Wings on the bottom. So obviously there is an Imperial Remnant. That answers my speculation. Plus this variant cover. Oh, is this going to be good stuff, guys? We're getting Ballard Valence and Han Solo working together again. We've seen these guys working together around the time of Solo's Star Wars story. They're both like cadets together with the Imperial Academy, and obviously they both left that. We have so much good stuff with Bylor Valance as a cyborg that was really heading the charge against the Empire, ne'er-do-wells between Empire and Return of the Jedi. And don't forget that he was the person that gave valuable intel and helped the rebels basically save Han Solo from carbonate from Jabba's palace in the end. Right in that last issue, he gave them the chance they needed to save. So to see these two reunite, I can't freaking wait. I cannot freaking wait for Ballard Valance and Han Solo to team up. There's just so much good stuff here. Phil Noto is a legendary comic artist, especially when it comes to Star Wars, right? He had done, I think, most of the Poe Dameron series by Charles Soule. He has done just phenomenal jobs with the covers, but he does do the interior art from time to time. So it's cool to get this guy to do the interior art for now, right? This is an ongoing, so maybe he's just in the first arc. What's really exciting is that we're finally getting Luke, Han, and Leia together. That has been something that's been sorely missed in the last 4 or 5 years that we were having a Star Wars 2020 run that takes place between Empire, Return of the Jedi. That's the good stuff. Like seeing what our big three are capable. Plus, I would imagine there's probably, some Ben Solo stuff at this point because he would have been born by this time. Maybe there's some other characters that might just make pop up, right? There's so many fates of characters, like Dr. Aphra, for instance. We know that she is around at this point. I would like to see her storyline intertwined. But then looking at the Star Wars comics for the future, right? This is a very interesting time for Star Wars comics. Usually we have like one ongoing that has a bunch of other ongoings attached, like usually a Darth Vader and a Star Wars, like we did with the 2015 run and the 2020 run. Marvel's taking a different approach. Now they're doing the Jedi Knights ongoing series, which is that, pre-Phantom Menace kind of like right around that time ongoing. Then we're also getting the Legacy of Vader, which is clearly in between Last Jedi and Rise of Skywalker. And now we are getting this more like original trilogy vibe, Star Wars, like post Return of the Jedi vibe. So we're getting all the boxes checked off as far as all the different eras, but they're all being told at the same time. So if you're a prequel fan, you're gonna get something you love. If you're kind of like the big three fan, original trilogy, you're gonna get something you love. If you like the sequel trilogy and seeing what's going on over there, then Marvel's got you for that. So this has been a great announcement, a great creative team. I've loved so far what Alex Segura has done with the Battle of Jakku, pulling in all different kind of mediums and stuff together in a nice canon continuity fashion. So I'm very curious to see what he's going to do with these characters going forward. There's not a lot of storytelling, as I said, so he has a lot of free reign with what he wants to do for the most part. But one thing's for certain, I don't know if I'd want to be in this guy's shoes because he is making history here with these characters. Luke, Han, and Leia are obviously everybody's favorite, so these are untamed grounds. We have never seen these characters at this point, so there's a lot of pressure on his shoulders. So hey, I wish him the best of luck. I will be reading these as I always do, right? Reading these comics and telling you guys what I think about them. So let me know in the comment section down below what you think about this announcement that we are getting our first stories for the big three post Return of the Jedi ongoing, post Battle of Jakku. Let me know in the comment section down below. I talk about comics basically every week with Star Wars. So if you aren't following here already, go ahead, do it because you're just going to get more information out of these comics if you're not reading them every week. That's going to do it for me, Star Wars. Thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you always.